Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Houston Element Podcast. My name is Missy, and I'm your host. And today, we're doing a special episode, virtual episode, because we're reaching all across the world here. And we got a local recording and performing artist, Young Blazem.
Yo, what's up?
How's it going, man?
It's going.
It's going. Yeah, it's going. So can you tell us a little...
Trying to stay on top of everything, you know?
I hear that, man. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what kind of music you do?
I really, just to start it off, I make music off of me just trying to express myself on how I feel. So it's more of I wouldn't say an outlet, because it's more like a running away thing, but more just because I enjoy like doing it. So like, let's say I'm going through something or whatever, like I won't tell nobody. So it's like I would end up saying it on the mic or something, and then eventually people will hear it and they'll be like, "What? Like that sounds kind of brutal, but at the same time, it kind of goes hard though." So
that's
it's like, yeah. So that's most of that's the type of music I make, kind of just like speaking for myself, and then people end up relating to it.
Excellent, man. Yeah, I mean, you guys as artists, we really appreciate you guys putting not just your art out there, but your whole selves out there, So how did you get into music, and when did you decide to pursue your career in music?
I'm actually, around like 13, I was like listening to rock music or like hardcore, like it's a certain type of genre of rock. So it was more of a kind of hype thing. So once I started getting into like rap later on, I kind of liked a certain type of music that I guess you would say not everyone listens to, of that style. So like once I started clicking, I would say like it was actually maybe 2013 when I kind of heard XXX Tentacion. And it's just like right when I heard it, it's just like I knew like that was something that I liked, or like I knew it was underground because it was barely on SoundCloud, even though he was already really hyped. But at the same time, it was just like, whoa, like I'm kind of, I want to go with this crowd, like no matter like what anybody says about that type of style or whatever. So yeah, I kind of like gravitated to the more underground scene in the SoundCloud era, I would say, and it's been a long path since then, but I mean, I've never complained. Well, I have, but at the same time, it's just like, I just let it go how it goes. And just.
Excellent. So what would you say is inspiration behind your lyrics and your writing style, and even like, your rapping style?
Yeah. I'm glad you said it like that, because I do have different styles. It's more of the time, like how I feel at the moment. Like that's the way I would go. But as far as like opening my mind up to like talking about different things, it would probably be I would say Lil Peep, to be honest. Lil Peep had this like little aura of him talking about really brutal things that he felt, and for him to express himself like that and like not really feel happy about it, but like really make people feel happy about it, it kind of just made you feel like, well, maybe I should speak about how I feel so other people can feel more comfortable about feeling some type of way.
And that's very admirable, because a lot of people don't know how to put their feelings out there, and music is
definitely. Yeah, especially in like this age or whatever, or like older men or stuff like that. I would say it's definitely a bashed thing, like for you to express yourself, feelings. So yeah,
mm-hmm.
I kind of take it as like a kind of strength, really, just to actually show that I feel some type of way, and I just try to hide it.
And it is a strength, to be able to put your feelings out there, and because some people just let it fester and never deal with it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Excellent.
I agree.
And so is there any kind of like specific method like for actually rapping your lyrics that you like to do, or is your rapping style vernacular change depending on the song?
Like I said, with the when you send me the questions, I kind of like did like put a good staying together, but it's just more like my thing is where I just kind of let everything go and just, like I try not to. I could sit here and like write like 20 songs in an hour, but at the same time, it's just not gonna feel as good as I did if I just like let it out and just said how I wanted to, and it sounded like on point.
Right on. So you're very organic with your performance then.
Yeah, definitely. And it's the up and a down thing, I would like to say, because people usually like I've been making music for the longest, like just to put it out there. Like I'm like how I said, I do it to like express myself in a way. I made so many songs. It's just like I just don't really put them out until I just feel like it's the right time for it to come out. Like let's say I would talk about something, and then like later on I don't feel like that or whatever, and I make something else, and then maybe 2 months later I feel that same way. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe it's time to bring this one out. So it's like it's kind of like you said, it's an organic release of most of the stuff I do.
Excellent. And like you said, you told me before also that you've been making music since 2012, man. Like, that's awesome.
I was in high school at Jeff Davis High School in Houston. It was just me and a group of friends. That's when we kind of like, well, to be precise, they had a label already that they made, which was Chop City Records, and it just got to the point where it was just more of like something. I wouldn't say a phase because we were really tough on it, but it was just to the point where it's just like, man, you're still like trying to rep it. I was like, man, what are you talking about? Like, like we've been like saying this the longest time. Like we had parties, like just like really like having that based off of that in a way, Chop City, like being like messed up, like, and it would just be funny where we would be like Chop City, and just like, it was just so like, it was so like strong in the sense that I was like kind of upset that they didn't want to continue it. So after that, that's when I kind of like took it on my back to start the actual label and be more legal in a sense.
Excellent. And so you got your label, Chop City Records, that you started, and you've been working with a bunch of different clients. So how's that experience been for you?
It's an interesting one, really, only because it's just, there's so many, I guess you could say, personalities behind it. So it's like you can like work with somebody and it would just be really for that moment of what's going on. So like, to meet different people and like just like them actually condoning into like collabing and stuff like that is kind of like a good feeling.
Excellent. And you've recorded and mixed and produced your own stuff and with other artists too. So is there any kind of tools or specific workflow that you like when you're doing your own projects or other artists' projects?
Honestly, to go back to where I like started and everything, I started recording on Audacity. So it was more just like I just looked something up, like how to record yourself or make a song or something like that, like back in the day. So it kind of came up to that. But I mean, to go back to a time where like my brother actually taught me how to produce, that's another thing with me also, that I'm like so influenced with different type of genres, where it's what I make now is definitely influenced by what I've made before. Like no matter how people would probably think like, like it's a certain type of vibe or something, like, well, yeah, because like I was influenced by different things, and it's just like whatever I come, like you said, it's organic for it to come freely on what I've experienced. So in that sense, I started recording on Audacity. So I would really just record my vocals and then hear it on the earphones and just have it separate, like in a way. Because we used to just like record it on our phones, like with the beat all loud and then us just rapping. So it's like, I kind of like took that turn, was like, you know what, let's do it this way. So that was like more of a high school thing. And then I ended up upgrading to FL Studios. My brother, he was making a dubstep and like techno. Well, he made techno first and then he went into dubstep. So like I kind of went into that phase where I seen him making it and I was like, you know what, I want to make it too. So in that sense, we would like DJ and stuff around Houston. There was this old this old club called Kryptonite in Houston.
I remember Kryptonite.
Yeah, for sure. Like we used to DJ there a lot. And like after that, like I guess it was like more harder to make dubstep. So whenever I started making beats myself, it was kind of easier more than making dubstep. So I kind of like eased my way into recording from Audacity and then throwing it into FL Studios and just kind of maneuvering it that way. But like still to this day, I could like make a song and it'll sound so good. And then my brother just looking at me like, why did you do it like that? Like, like that's like a constant like argument with me and my brother. Like, but in the same sense, like I told you, it's just the way it comes out. It's just it's wild how like I could just make a freestyle and then it all goes together. And then it's just like, you know, like you could have did this, you could have did that. It was like, no, well, like I did it this way and it sounds good. So
yeah,
I'm gonna definitely stick with that.
Yeah, because there's so many different tools you can use to do the same thing that there's no way to say that this is the only way.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like people have so many different ways. And I mean, I don't go against punching in, but it's just like I would have to go from start to finish if I did punch in. Like, because I can't just sit there and then just be like, you know what, now what am I going to say? It's like, no, like I got to like have my mind freely of what I'm trying to do or say. And like, definitely when I hear a beat, it's like to the point where I have my rhymes together so good that it's just that I'll just let it rip out like how it's supposed to. And then it's like, they're just like, you know what, we're going to keep that.
So you do not have ADD when it comes to rapping, you know what I'm saying? You're very focused.
I mean, it depends on the situation I am, but like, I mean, there's times where I get like writer's block and it's really more like so that I have too much on my mind to try to like put it together in a song. So I kind of like refrain from that for a while. Mm-hmm. Like as I have been lately, it's just, it's like so many things you want to say, and it's just like you don't want to just like let it all out. It just be like, wait, what is he talking about? Like,
yeah,
I never like, I like try to let it come out freely to a point where it makes sense, other than just like saying what's on my mind or whatever.
I feel that, man. And oh man, Kryptonite, that takes me back. Oh, I probably saw you guys spinning a couple times, and I didn't even know it. That's crazy.
Right. I wouldn't doubt it. It's like being there till like the sun comes up and it's still playing. Yeah.
Oh, those were the good days, though. Those are the good days.
That's definitely like a culture. I'm more of a cultural person, not like a culture vulture, because I definitely see those a lot. Mm-hmm. But it's just more that I just like float, like what I like. It's not more that I just go with the weight.
I feel that, man. Is there anything that you know now as an artist and an engineer and a performer that you wish that you knew back when you first started?
Honestly, to be like completely honest, like no, because I was just so like, I think it would have probably stopped me from being who I am at the moment. Mm-hmm. To the point where I would have been like listening to somebody like, oh, why are you doing it that way? Why did you do that? Why did you do this? And it's like, it's more of the fact that I'm learning it on my own way. Mm-hmm. Then it's just like it's progressing from there. So to go from that, it would definitely be that I would probably like tell myself more how to like record myself more professionally, to be able to have like stems and etc. Only because I know how to do that. But it's just that like there's so many songs that could have been way better if I really thought it through. But like I said, I wouldn't have got that far if I like told myself not to do it that way.
Yes, and I've heard that from a lot of artists that they say sometimes they don't get writer's block, but they kind of get discouraged. They're like, well, I could change this. I don't want to put it out just yet. But then...
Yeah, definitely.
But by that time, though, then a year passes and we're all waiting for that new single or album to drop. So I'm like that you don't overthink and you just let it go, man.
Yeah, like honestly, like I'm glad you said that, because I just like uploaded a lot of singles through United Masters. I kind of left it alone for a while, but it's just the fact that it is, I do agree that it is kind of freely for you to upload your own music and it be on a good platform as Spotify, etc. And so I think for me to like just have a good grasp on what I want to let out, and then just kind of let it freely come out like that. I'm in a good headspace of releasing music at the moment.
Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah, man. And so back to what you were saying, you have SoundCloud is one of your biggest platforms. So
yeah, that's actually where I started on. Like, it's kind of it's somewhere where I always told people to listen to my music, but at this point of my career or where I'm at, I would I'm trying to kind of keep that a secret, only because I just have almost I have maybe 40 songs or more that I just recorded and uploaded on there, and they're all to say, so to speak, that they're all freestyle. I mean, maybe a few of them out of all of them, out of the whole 40, I've definitely wrote, and I sat down, but just it's that same moment. It's not that I just waited days to make a song or something, but most of my things are definitely freestyle that I make.
Well, as a music head, I can say that I appreciate that you freestyle and you put your stuff out there, and 40 something tracks is not something to disregard.
I think 40 tracks from 2012 is definitely a milestone to be able to let go.
Really, and I can appreciate live music and raw music. That's one of real musicians and fans really appreciate.
Right. Yeah, I think I've been like how I said with the XXX, and he had that more raw sound where it's it was definitely how would you say it? Has that distortion in it. Mm-hmm. So it's distorted to the way that it sounds still good. It's like how I said, the songs that I made is still showing that, okay, well, let's say I made it and it doesn't sound completely the best, but it's just you could jam to it and it's just gonna get everybody turned.
Oh yeah.
There's a difference between just making a song and it not sounding good to oh damn it, I could live with just letting this come out.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because some stuff, especially with freestyles, it's so good when it comes out just raw in your face, and live, you're just I wasn't expecting that, but thank you.
Yeah, that's most of what happens.
That's what's up.
I write lyrics in my phone through the day or etc. But at the same time, it's just I would probably use that for the last piece of what I needed or whatever. If I can't get that last thing in, but to kind of just go through my phone and kind of come over the song is just not in my persona to try to do.
For sure. Understandable. And so going back to talking about your label, Chop City Records, have you ever worked with any artists or musicians where you have agreed with things that they did or like certain things they did and not so much agreed with their kind of techniques?
I think more just going with them trying to say for me to write it a certain way or for me to do it this way or something. But as far as coming into a studio with another artist, I like to stay humble and just kind of, I'll give you your space just so you can give me mine. And then I mean, if you really think about it, that's the only time it really comes, because there's no way. Oh, I mean, in my sense, there's no way you could just be all right, come on, we're gonna make a song today, and then it's gonna be the hardest song or da da da. It's no, you just gotta just come and then just. I do what I do, you do what you do, and it'll go like that. So as far as disagreeing, maybe that would be the least thing I'll probably do with another artist.
Very important. I'm glad that you said that. That was very well put. Because
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because especially in live sound, you hear about musicians saying, "Oh, this live engineer doesn't listen to me. They don't do what I asked them for." And that's not how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I would understand, so to speak, with my brother, there's this one song that I'm gonna have released. It's called "I Need a Lot," and it's crazy how I had to say it a lot of times just so he could really like it. So it's like I had to say it over and over again. It's like to the point where he was like, no. He was like, do it again. It's like, no, do it again. It's like, all right, now this one sounded good. He's like, no, but you got to do it again. And it's just like my brother is more precise on mastering and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out my brother, Sloppy Joe. Sloppy Joe on SoundCloud. You can look him up. And I think on Instagram it's the Cat Mayor. So yeah, he has a very precise way of production. So I kind of, like I said, put my humbleness up and kind of just like go with it and just like, you know what, I can do it better, or I need to do it better. So as far as a disagreement of being professional, I wouldn't do.
Understandable. Everybody's got their workflow. And again, there's not just one way to do it, especially. Yeah. And working with FL Studios, there's 1,000 ways to do stuff. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, there's so many ways you can do things. I've heard that that's like a more, I do appreciate Pro Tools because shout out to Nodis. He kind of like put me on a more structured way of like writing my music.
Mm-hmm.
Because like how I used to do it, just like freestyle it. He was like, like it does sound good, but like let's I would say it wouldn't be a disagreement, but it's more like he had his like idea of putting it, and he did. Because after that he released almost like a song almost every 2 weeks and just like ended up blowing up.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, so I'm kind of on that wavelength at the moment, and just like he did tell me, he was like, oh, like come with me to Cali. I'm just gonna move out there and I'm like, bro, why would I do that? Like, there's no way. Like, no, bro, you don't understand. Like like I got all these songs ready. I'm talking to these people, and I like turned it down. And it's just like to see him grow in that way, and for him to help me out. And actually, a few songs that he made was actually with my like mic that I brought to his house.
Oh wow!
As far as him using like Reason and Pro Tools to like, I would say like, people do like focus on the best mic and this and that, but like what we used and for him to blow up, it's just like, it's kind of hard to like listen to people when they say that. Like, you need this, you need that. It's like, I could literally just like get my laptop and just like find a way to do something. Like at this point, like even like with Rap Chat, etc. Like actually the song that I just got 7K on 7. Let me check.
No problem.
Yeah, because it's been going up since the morning or since last night.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and then like a bunch of them are like following up after that.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
As far as I would say, think yeah, Ain't the Same. It just hit 71K.
Excellent. And that one is on. Wow.
I actually made that on Rap Chat. And I just made sure I had the levels right, etc., to make it come out that way. And then, so yeah, like as far as, like I said, like just having a certain like a feeling of how I feel at the moment and just like let it out. For it to like actually climb up the charts like that, or and plays, I would definitely think about just like kind of let that freely come out.
That's
and I have a few of them too that I've uploaded from I made them on Rap Chat and put them on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And then as far as that, Worth It is at 10K right now too.
Excellent. And you got your music on all platforms. You got it on YouTube. You got it on SoundCloud.
I have it on all platforms, but at the same time, I want to like for me to be for me to have my own label and be a solo artist. But behind my label, it's kind of like I want to be more precise on how it comes out. To be honest, I wouldn't want it just be freely like let out. As far as on my SoundCloud.
For sure.
Letting out so much work.
For sure.
So, as far as that, then it's on YouTube and Spotify at the moment. And then most of them are on SoundCloud because I started off there.
Excellent.
But yeah, it's definitely you can find me on Spotify at Young Blazem. It'll be Blaze and then apostrophe EM to be more professional and pronunciation, etc. That's another thing that I've learned. It's like I've always tried to have like different like pronunciations of how I did it, and it's just like I got to keep up with that actual pronunciation of how I put it.
Hey, I mean, the English language is kind of an open space, especially today.
Yeah, for sure.
So what kind of things help you? Like you said, a lot of your lyrics and music is just very organic, and even your mixing style is very just organic feeling kind of thing. But what kind of things help you get into the mindset of performing, producing, recording, etc.?
I think more, to be precise, it's just more of what I've been through, etc. I kind of just, after all the deaths and stuff that's been going on with artists, as of them trying to like mask what they're going through, as more so that I just kind of like try to use that as a inspiration of what I'm trying to do, more than try to do substance abuse, etc., just to make something happen or make it come out. Because I have to put my finger on it of how things been going, because it's just like too many artists that are really talented or just like gone like that. It's kind of hard to be like, oh yeah, I just go to studio and get messed up and do this and that. It's just like not in my persona to want to do. It's like I want to be more free-minded on how I feel, etc.
I respect that, man. And yeah, you're right. We've lost too many great people, just not just as artists, but just individuals, to some things. And it's not fair. And so what do you think is most important when pursuing a career as an artist and entrepreneurship? Like you already said, you're like, I'm not going to waste my time on a bunch of dope, losing my mind. Right.
Yeah. I think more just the professionalism behind it, and just kind of like just sticking to what you're doing. It's like I've kind of like tried to tell my friends, etc., like, oh, I made the song and this and that, and it just kind of got me like tired to be like, hey, listen to my song. Oh, you haven't heard it yet? Oh, okay. It kind of had me like discouraged, but at the same time, it's just like I kind of just let that go in a sense, and then just kind of like after my stuff been like blowing up on YouTube, I kind of just like been focused more on the world than like my neighbors, etc.
Very, very, very well said. Yes. And I mean, and look at you on the podcast now. Okay. You got all these followers and stuff, I'm blessed. Yeah. I'm blessed that you're blessing us with your presence. You know what I'm saying? I'm appreciative of that.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you for having me. Like, especially at the moment where I was going through so much, and then for me to like start climbing up from yesterday and then be on your podcast to let y'all know what's going on. It's I definitely appreciate that for the opportunity.
For sure, man. I mean, this is what we're about. We got so many great, talented folks here in Houston, and you're one of them. We wanted to talk to you, man.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I've done a few interviews, but it's just more. They're not really, or I wouldn't say like everyone, but it's not really organic for it it's more like staged or whatever. So as far as this podcast is definitely more freely of speaking.
I'm glad to hear it, man. Yeah. I mean, like you were saying earlier, like you don't need all this, fancy, yada, yada, yada. It's about giving that professionalism and creating an environment for people to feel comfortable and be themselves. That's what we're trying to do here.
Right, for sure. Yeah. And that's definitely a big part of how I move, is definitely being yourself, and not like, I would say to anybody listening, just do what you got to do. If you do it a certain way, and that's working, just stick with it. Because I mean, you trying to like put yourself in somebody else's shoes and be like them, you like just be going in circles.
Yeah. Okay, what do they call it? Trying to fit into some clown shoes because they're not yours?
Yeah, for sure.
And so you're preparing to release your official clothing line, Dopest Supply Company. So what can we be expecting from your line? Is there inspiration behind the design or?
It's more of an influence from different brands, I would say, but definitely more affordable. I would say like more like there's this brand called FTP, FTP and Supreme, like along with the streetwear culture. It's more like I've actually been like thinking about it since like since high school. I've always said like, and it's funny because one of my teachers had asked me one time, it's like, what do you want to do when you grow up or whenever you get out of school? I was like, I'm gonna make my own clothing brand. I'm gonna have my own store. She's like, nah, there got to be something else out there for you. And I was like, what? Like you literally just asked me, and then when I tell you. So as far as that, it's definitely like I said, a strength to like keep doing what how I want to do it. I guess creating clothing, my own designs and stuff.
Excellent.
As far as like stuff coming out would just be like, I guess anything that I put together. I guess it would be a shirt with the design. But also I do like clothing. I make my own shirts and stuff.
Excellent. Yeah, like it's really cool when you see the artists that are not just lyrically and musically inclined, but they got the design aspect too, because we all want to do something to represent the music and the musician, man.
Right, yeah. And I would say I was definitely like that for a while until I kind of like sat back and like kind of just let it, like how I said, be more professional because I had the like aura of what I was supposed to do, and people would always like be around me like, oh yeah, you're gonna do it, this and that. And like when it didn't happen on their like time span or whatever, they just kind of like backed off. So as far as me kind of just like projecting on what I have to do, and then just kind of using that to like let things come out more bigger than I think. Just letting it just I've always had these like dreams and aspirations of how I wanted to do something, and it's just I got like kind of tired, like I said, telling everybody. So it's just to the point now where it's just I'm just letting it show for itself, but also still staying humble.
Right on, man. So, hot topic. A common phase. Oh, excuse me. I can't read my own questions. I'm blind. A common phrase amongst. I really cannot talk today. I'm so sorry. One more time. Okay. A common phrase Okay. Give me just a second.
No, you're good.
Okay. All right. Never mind. Anyway, a common phrase among musicians is that practice makes perfect. So what are the kind of things that you practice before performing, recording, and etc., that you make sure you get your best product out?
It's definitely the biggest thing I would tell anyone in that situation would definitely be the confidence. You definitely need to master your own confidence of what you want to do before, because there's ways of like faking of what you're trying to do, etc. But it's definitely going to show in the end. But as far as like you just having your own confidence and as practice makes perfect, that's definitely a big factor. Only because it's definitely a trial and error thing with production and making music. Like there's like I could make a song today and it just doesn't sound how I want to, and I'm not just gonna be like, oh well, I'm gonna stop. It's just like more like, you know what, like I made that, so I'm gonna come back to it, or I'm gonna do it differently next time.
Excellent. And you wear all these different hats too. You're a producer, you're a recorder, engineer, artist. I mean, now you're going to be your fashion line CEO. I mean, so how do you juggle all that, man?
Like I said, it's more just like it used to like, kind of just like take a toll on me. And it's definitely people like definitely seen it. And it's just like, like maybe you should not do that, etc. And it's just like, you know what, one day I'm gonna master it. So
yeah,
like I know at the moment when they did see it, it wasn't projected the best way. But as far as it, just like I said, letting it go freely within, I guess not really stressing myself about it like every day. Like, let's say for me to have the podcast today, I wouldn't really think about clothing designing or whatever, because it's just like, it's definitely a blockage naturally to have so much things on your mind. And the more you let it like freely go out and think about it more precise is the best way to have.
Very well said. Very well said. Because, I mean, as artists and professionals, overthinking is our middle name.
Yeah, definitely. And I would think I would hate overthinking the most, only because like I could make a song, like I said, and it's just like I like the way it sounds in the beginning, but it's just like, why would I even say it like that? Like,
yeah,
like those things. So like, as far as me like freestyling, I kind of just like, I would rather like, there's times where I made like maybe 3 songs or 4 songs within an hour, only because I kind of just like, it was like, all right, next one, like next one again. It's like, I would have probably stayed like the whole hour on one song and probably not even finish it. So as far as like, they'll even look at me like RP to my homie Nate. That's a couple songs that he produced, Araujo engineered for me before he passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he definitely he kind of looked at me like what, you're gonna go to the next song? It's like yeah, like I got 2 hours with you, like I want to make the best. It's like, well, I mean, you could do this. Like, you know what? He kind of like let me do it. So as far as him just like letting me do what I did, and then me making about like 4 songs within the session, is definitely a good inspiration. Definitely with other producers and stuff, like letting you freely produce your own songs, etc.
Excellent. And I appreciate that you appreciate the value of time and you take your art very seriously. You're like, no, I got 2 hours. I want to make this count.
Yeah, it's definitely dedication behind stuff like that. Because you could, like I said, you could just be like, oh, I'm going to go and I'm going to make 4 songs. And it's not going to go that way. It's just like more of a, like, just go, just like let it come out how it's, how you think it should.
Excellent. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for coming on and joining us today and sharing all this gems and wisdom with us, man.
For sure.
So
yeah, I had to let it out only because I don't really freely well, I'm an outspoken person, but at the same time, it's just more like I've always like gave the sauce to so many people, and it's just like, not that I got anything against them, but just for them to like kind of use it in their own perspective and just like elevate from that. I like to give it to people that actually appreciate it, and not just use it as selfishly.
That part. Okay.
Yeah.
So do you have any last little bit of advice for the listeners?
I would say, I mean, it doesn't have to be, I mean, you could get it inspired by somebody, I guess, on a podcast or what they're talking about, but it's definitely, you should use that inspiration to kind of go to whatever you like doing and use that as a kind of a stepping stool, really, to like do your own thing other than just trying to be someone else. Or definitely, I would say, just like be yourself and just whatever you feel like you have in your heart that you want to do, then just keep on going with it, no matter what anybody says about it.
That's 100. Okay. Okay. That's the Benjamin right there. Okay. That's the lottery ticket. Okay.
Right.
Well, thank you guys so much for listening to us this week. And stick around because we're going to play an exclusive release of Young Blazem's song, Ain't the Same. So stick around and check it out. And we'll put in the comments where you can follow and listen to more of his music. Thank you. Peace.
Yeah.
Yeah. R.I.P. to all the fallen soldiers. Why do I feel like you playing?
Why do I feel like you playing? Hard to believe what you saying. Really, I'm faded. Probably the reason I'm faded. Probably the reason I'm faded. Yeah. Why do I feel like you playing? Hard to believe what you saying. Really, the reason I'm faded. Probably the reason I'm faded. I can feel you changing. I can feel my heart racing. Only bags I'm chasing. It's like all I feel is pain. Mama, I'm really tryna change. Can't go to sleep cause them demons in my fucking brain. I was lost in the streets, yeah, tryna make a name. Man, they killed me seeing my nigga Aalho in the grave. Now I can't hear him call my name, yeah. Man, I swear I pray for better days, yeah. Pray for better days, yeah. Praying that these demons go away. It's like all I feel is pain. Mama, I'm really tryna change. Can't go to sleep cause these demons in my brain. I was lost up in the streets. I was tryna make a name. And it killed me seeing Aalho in the grave. Now I can't hear him call my name. I swear I'm praying for them better days. I swear I came up the harder way. You ain't the same, yeah. Is it me or you? Is it you? Tell me what you tryna do? Yeah, I'm riding in the 82. Yeah, sipping on that lean. Yeah, this ain't no brew. Why do I feel like you playing? Hard to believe what you saying. Probably the reason I'm faded. Probably the reason I'm faded. Baby, why is you changing? I can feel my heart racing. Why do I feel like you changing? Hard to believe what you saying. Probably the reason I'm faded. I can feel you changing. I can feel my heart racing. Only bags I'm chasing.